This is the island of Ischia, situated in the heart of the Gulf of Naples. Here, in the Cilario neighbourhood of Casamiccciola, Larissa Savka is still in a state of shock.
To see all this today, it's painful. It was full of life here, with neighbours. I used to walk past and my neighbour would be taking care of her plants. She had beautiful flowers. To see it all gone really hurts.
Last November, at dawn on the 26th, these houses were swept away by a landslide. 40,000 cubic metres of mud came crashing down the mountain, killing 12 people and causing grief and devastation.
That's my house. It's unusual because it's made from what we call green stone. It's said our house is miraculous because it's never been damaged, not during the previous earthquake, nor during the last landslide, when the mud came to a stop at our gate.
Since the disaster, her house is in a zone considered high risk and is inaccessible. For the last 6 months, Larissa has been living in a hotel with her 11 and 15-year-old daughters.
Shall we listen to some music tonight?
The Italian government covers the cost of the hotel and their meals.
These are the same pyjamas my daughter was wearing when we had to leave. And then later, we picked up a few things when we were allowed back into the house on the 15th of December.
1,000 people were evacuated at the end of November. Some of them were able to return home once the risk diminished, but 150 residents from high-risk zones are still living in hotels today.
We want to go home, go back to our old life. We still have to wait before we can go home.
A new cartographic study of hydrogeological risks will be carried out this summer. Before the disaster, their house was not considered to be in a high-risk area. The residents of Casamiccciola have to live with various risk factors. In 2017, the town was hit by an earthquake. Natural disasters are so frequent that in the local dialect, Casamiccciola is synonymous with disaster. At the beginning of the 20th century, after another landslide, these canals and embankments were built. Agnello Di Iorio is a geologist. He shows us round one of the installations.
Today, all of these canals are blocked. Some are damaged and others are destroyed. They are not doing their job. On the contrary, they contribute to the flow of debris that runs down towards the sea.
The victims are further outraged by the lack of maintenance of these infrastructures. And there is also the problem of uncontrolled urban development that has caused concern for years. According to a report by the association Legambiente, 27,000 of the 64,000 houses do not meet building regulations.
How is it possible? That is the question we're all asking.
A succession of amnesty laws has allowed homeowners to regularise their situation by simply paying a fine.
The state didn't intervene at all before to avoid a completely out-of-control, unregulated urban development. Only after the fact did they legalize what had originally been done illegally. This encourages abuse of the law. It's not dissuasive at all.
An inquiry was opened by the court in Naples on the day after the disaster. It should identify the buildings that do not conform to planning regulations. The Italian government has granted a sum of 85 million euros for the reconstruction of Casamiccciola, but the exact conditions are not clear.
And that rock there, what are we going to do?
I'd like to have it removed.
Okay, we'll take it down.
Maria Laura Stefanizzi is managing the most urgent tasks.
We've already removed a number of the rocks that were sitting precariously after the landslide. It was dangerous because of the instability of the ground above. They could have fallen down into the valley. That's the first phase. The rock climbers will come back another time to stabilize the terrain definitively, to finish making it safe.
There are more than 80 work sites on the island, including those involved in cleaning the hydraulic system, to better prevent future catastrophes. According to a report from the Institute of Environmental Research, In Italy, 94% of the national territory is susceptible to flooding and landslides, a figure that has increased by 4 points in the last 5 years.